Welcome to the world of soon-to-be at Adepticon.
Yeah, so this is going to be kind of a, what do you call it? What did we call it before? A metasode, a short metasode. We really didn't have time to catch up and do a full episode before Adepticon. We apologize, but we did want to get something in. We wanted to sit and talk about our preparations, what we're doing, what we're going to be doing, and maybe do a little bit of addendum to the Rogue Trader episode. So here we are. Hi, Snorre.
Hi.
Hola.
Let's begin with the first addendum to the episode. We're sorry, okay? We know it did not sound like a great episode. We are truly sorry.
Sorry.
I guess part of the reason was I've been really burning out at work, so I was kind of tired. I probably should have put a little bit more effort into the editing. I could have probably made it a little bit better. Then again, there was just something weird going on. It felt like a good episode until we edited it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what? I listened to it again, and I'm like, well, this isn't so bad, but we do sound really tired.
Yeah.
We didn't sound like we were into it, but I love the topic, and I don't know. Yeah, we apologize if that one wasn't our best, but I think that we have a pretty good track record.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that having, several interesting episodes that people contacted us about later is like, wow, this was amazing. That's good enough for us.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get some inspiration attending Adepticon, meeting each other and meeting other people, listening to them talk about their stuff, and maybe we'll pick up something else like, oh wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, so we'll probably meet a few people at the podcaster dinner that the Geek Nation tour is throwing, but that's only for the tourers. So I guess the Forging the Narrative guys are having a get together for their people afterwards. I don't know if we're gonna do anything similar, but if you see us in our t-shirts or whatever, or you see us, feel free to say hi.
Yeah, and as this is released, we are at Adepticon when this releases.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Yeah,
It'll be. We'll probably release this that morning or that afternoon when I show up at the hotel. We'll probably do the upload then and just get her, or do the release then, and you'll be able to listen.
what I was trying to get to was actually that yes, the whole charity drunken podcaster karaoke event thing was sort of a joke, but it turns out that there are some people that are going to do some karaoke anyways.
I know! What the heck?
So Adam and I, we found out that as long as we can make it after the Geek Nation tour's welcome dinner, there will probably be some karaoke.
I'm trying to decide what I'm going to sing. I'm worried that my adventure is going to last until like midnight or something, though. So hopefully we'll be able to get over there. Hopefully, because I love karaoke. I love singing and dancing, even though I'm terrible at both of those things.
But hey, that's the point of karaoke.
Yeah,
and we'll be drunk. Hopefully there won't be any videos on Facebook.
Hopefully there will be lots of videos on Facebook. Have you been what have you been doing, man? Have you been preparing at all? Did you have anything to prepare? Like, are you just bringing like any all your painted stuff for your games and whatever?
I'm bringing my Death Guard, and they're painted, so not too much to worry about there. On the other hand, I'm also attending the Battlefleet Gothic event, and I still haven't finished my one Tau cruiser for the event. So I still have some work to do, and that is for Sunday before I leave. Because I'm working, and then sleeping, then eating, then working, and working again. So I don't really have too much time other than on Sunday.
I was thinking about doing some repaints on my cruiser on some of my ships. Actually, I have a sneaking suspicion. I was actually thinking I want to contact Jason because I know he plays Battlefleet Gothic, and I was wondering if he was going to actually be bringing some of his stuff because I know he signed up for that narrative event too. So I might I might actually get a game in with him when we do our random gaming on Friday.
You
Just
mean,
like actually do Battlefleet Gothic.
what was that title he had? Skull Taker McMullins or something?
Something like that.
So, yeah, you're basically talking about Overlord's Mullins?
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking about, doing some repaints on my ships and getting them looking a little bit better than they did when I first. Those are my first like 40K models, really, when you think about it, and they really need a little love.
Yeah, my tower ships are not my first, but I never really got them finished, which sort of sucks. I really need to do something about that. It was at the point where I was excited about the Tau having a 6th edition codex, and also at the same time not really caring too much about the Tau because I realized, yeah, I'm probably going to play Space Marines. And, well, shortly after that, I realized that Chaos Space Marines was the cooler side because they did have much more than just cookies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's the cookies are just what gets you in. They're the drug. They're the gateway drug. You know.
Yeah.
The first one's always free.
Yeah, for me, I guess it was sort of like the phlegm and all the goo and, all the disgusting stuff that just teased me in.
Right. Yeah, so I want to do those if I have time.
Yeah. So, it's been almost 2 weeks. Have you done anything?
What? Maybe.
Anything?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anything?
Something.
Oh, that's good.
I'm doing I finished the demons. Yay. The orc demons. They look pretty
awesome.
Rad.
Oh yeah, they do.
I'm so pleased. I'm really pleased with the weapons. I did the edges of them light and went darker in the middle, which is not normally like a thing you do with fire, but you do it with power weapons. And I kind of was getting more of a power weapon feel from the weapons rather than a fire brand type feel. So I wanted to do the edges yellow, and I faded that, yellow, orange, and then red in the middle of they're like bone or not bone. They're like stone weapons on the savage orcs.
Yeah.
So I did all the raised areas that yellow, and I did all the lower areas the red, and it looks like a kind of like a heat power weapon of like hell flame. They're pretty cool.
Looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, I can't wait to use them. I also let's see. Oh, what I plan on doing with these guys next is maybe do some bloodletters. That's going to be expensive because I'm not sure whether I'm actually going to buy bloodletters and then also buy orc boar riders and just buy 2 kits and make 1 kit, because that sounds really expensive, but whatever.
that pretty much sounds like my usual gaming partner Anish.
So
I don't see how people can do that.
I don't know. They're not going to be. I'm not going to be spamming blood crushers, right? I'm just going to have a small squad or 1 or 2 small squads. So it's not like I'm going to be spending a ton of money. And what I'm definitely going to do is loot the bit seller at Adepticon and try to buy everything secondhand. So that should help. I can paint around crappy, models. So I'll try to get some blood crushers, and I also want to build Tuska himself, which I think I don't know, dude. That new Greater Demon's looking pretty rad.
Yeah, I do like him. I don't like the corn follower thingies. They look kind of weird. 80s, right. Weird.
Some people like my buddy Pat would love those. He loves the 80s stuff. Like he'll intentionally buy any like heavy metal looking models. He loves like the old Noise Marines, and he loves the old Plague Marines and all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna buy. I think I want to get the new guy. I'll have to green stuff his face. I'll probably take his horns and make those tusks, give him a big old mouth, and replace the wings with some kind of jets like from a Vendetta or something, and use the claw from a Soul Grinder on one arm. And we'll see how that works out. That's like I said, I'm gonna raid that bit seller.
Yep, that sounds like a plan. it sounds like something that can look really crazy, and I'm looking forward to pictures.
Thanks, man. So right now I'm working on a runt bot that somebody sent me. Thank you to that mysterious benefactor who sent me this runt bot. It's a runt bot's a Forge World orc model that I guess you can't get anymore. He's really cool. He's basically an orc robot. That's what he is. He's awesome. And I've been like kind of working on him whenever I get like an extra hour or 30 minutes here or there. He's, I hope to have him done by Adepticon because I'm using him in all my random game lists. I have a crazy list for playing random games. It's like it's just dumb. Wait till you see what I have in this stupid list. Like I've got like I'm bringing Voltrork the whatever
not the Killacan, but
the one that's made out of Killacans. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a dumb list that's going to be terrible. So I can't wait to play with that.
Yeah.
So like I still need to make a bunch of tokens for Star Trek Attack Wing. I have lots of work to do with that. I'm thinking maybe I might do the lion's share of the work on the train. Actually, I have 12 hours on the train where I could just like steal a seat in the lounge car with my buddy John and just sit there and paint and get stuff done for that. I think I'm only going to have like 8 players, which is fine. I'm going to be doing some playtesting of those missions on Friday with my buddy Pat. Hopefully I can get those sent out and people can do some test games and stuff before the tournament. And last but not least, certainly not least, I've almost finished the Dark Heresy adventure. It's like the adventure itself is done, and I sent it to the rest of the GMs in the group in the email chain that Terrace has set up, and nobody's like responded. It's pretty long. It's like 30 pages. So, I just need to I made everybody's characters, but I'm going to do reference sheets for everybody's characters so that they don't have to borrow the book. So all of the abilities that are special to them. So like if somebody has a las pistol, I'm gonna do like a little stat block for the las pistol and put it on the reference sheet. If somebody has a special trait, I'm gonna do a little stat block for the trait and all that stuff, so that they just have a quick and easy lookup for all the one person who's a psyker. They'll have their psyker abilities all right there.
So, isn't the normal way of dealing with psychers is that, hey, I'm gonna psych something, and then everyone just turns to him, just like, okay, I'm pointing my gun at him.
Oh well, no, it depends. During the playtest, it was really funny. Because normally, well, here's the thing: how can you tell somebody's using a psychic ability?
They become really quiet and start humming and shaking, and then lightning comes out of their eyes and everything, and you just start screaming and shoot them. Isn't that how it's normal?
No, that's not how it happens every time.
I have played Rogue Trader, and we did not have any of those incidents. But I've seen other people reference them, mostly for humor, so they're probably not like completely accurate scenarios, but it was mostly like, so the psyker kind of started doing stuff, and everyone pointed their guns at him. Then suddenly a demon came out of his ear, and we shot him, and then we all died because, well, it's a demon.
That is really funny. Yeah, during the playtest, what's really funny is during the playtest, the psyker did actually like make an attack. It was in a kind of a confused like combat situation though. She swung around and like psychically assailed one of the characters with telekinesis, and he was kind of blown back into the couch and flipped over the couch, and the one guy who was a ex Astra Militarum officer, he's like an older guy, he's like, oh, I finally get to shoot you in the head with my bolt pistol. Perception check. he drops the tens 10, and it lands on 00, and we're like, oh yeah, but he drops the 10, and he picks the 10 up, and he's like, you're mine, and he rolls it, and it's a 0. He rolled 100 on his perception check. he was like staring at butterflies while the psychic power was going off.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of what I've been doing.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
The tournament I was going to is over, yes. And people who follow us on Facebook, yeah, well, it didn't go too well.
Oh,
it's me. I suck at Warhammer 40,000 strategic hard gaming, so it was to be expected. But I did not win the wooden spoon this year.
Woo!
So improvements have been made. I came second last, and technically, I guess I came third last because the last team we played against, they were using Blood Angels and Space Marines, and they were using this +1 to initiative on charge, which is a detachment rule. But you cannot have a detachment rule the way we were playing, because both players on the team were actually in the same detachment. There was like one half of a detachment, which means that detachment-specific rules don't apply. The game before they played us, they played against the store manager, and they did that. And he said, like, no, you don't, because that means that you're a detachment within a detachment, and that's not possible. So I was like, yeah, okay. And then they did it against us, and then they knew that they were not supposed to do it, and they still did it. So technically, I would say they cheated, so technically they probably disqualified. But, it was the last game of the day. I was probably not going to win anyway. It was a really close game, but it probably would have been a win because we got demolished in close combat because of this. And it would have been a lot more even. I was playing my Death Guard. My partner was playing Dark Angels. So, he was playing Chaos too. And we were, like I said, we were playing Astral Claws, actually. Well, the paint scheme was we couldn't use Forge World rules, so it was just plain Space Marines, effectively, and Blood Angels. And that was, that was the only annoying part of it. Well, apart from paint judging, because I think they were judging it a little bit weird, because apparently my bases, which I consider to be done because, well, they're textured, they have static grass on them, they're done. Apparently that's not done enough. So,
those are not considered, like, done?
Yeah, because they're not highlighted. The textured base is not highlighted enough. Apparently,
when I do my paint rubric is like basing is 1 to 5 points, and if you have like multiple textures or paint and stuff, that's full 5 points. If you have just like one texture or whatever on every model, it's between 3 and 4 points. You get something anyway.
Yeah. But in general, I think everything was painted in the tournament, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And let's see. Some of it was painted amazingly well. The best painted really deserved it. It was a guy and a girl. I think there were a couple. And his models were all 30k. It was Karn the Betrayer plus Forge World armor and a Contemptor Dreadnought plus a Rhino, I think. And his girlfriend, I think it was, he was playing World Eaters, like pre-heresy World Eaters, so they were white and blue. Really good job. And his girlfriend was playing Iron Hands, and they were painted like metallic, but it wasn't like just painted silver. It was dry brushed and weathered down, so it didn't really look like it was just silver. It had different tones to it. It was really well done. So yeah, that was best painted, and the rest of us were, me personally, I think we're having a pretty high standard to the paint job of every single player. I think that was really nice.
That's cool.
But like you were saying, the whole rolling 100 and completely failing everything, that reminds me of game 2.
Yeah.
My partner and I, we were playing our Space Marines against Dark Eldar times 2. There were so many Reavers and jet bikes and, all kinds of nasty stuff on the table. And I was being shot by, I think, 4 Venoms. It's like single Plague Marine squad by 4 Venoms, 60 shots. I lost 2 Plague Marines.
I love Plague Marines.
Yeah, but not just, it wasn't just me rolling well, because I saved like you wouldn't believe it. And even when I was failing my armor saves, I was still doing well above average on my Feel No Pain.
Uh-huh.
But just one of the Dark Eldar players, he just could not roll to hit as if his life depended on it. It was like, it just didn't work. He could, like I said, he was rolling 60 shots, and he was still not hitting on more than maybe 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was, he had the worst time, and I was just, like I said, saving like crazy. So, we still lost the game, but it was so close until the last round, and then suddenly everything just imploded for us. I think we were leading by 1 point going into round 5, and then we lost by 8 or 9 points or so. So it was, I think the game finally ended at 10-19 or 10-18 or something. It was really brutal, but we all had a really good time. And, well, this was... it's actually kind of fun. 2 of the 3 teams we played were players from the club. So we met, was like, hey, again, thanks for last night. More reminders. The night before a tournament, we have the inaugural have a good time at the bar, get a little bit drunk and talk and, just have a really good time. Yeah, like I said. So we went to a whiskey bar and had a really good time. We went through the charter for the club, made sure that everyone agreed with what was in it, and if we had some kind of, or if there was anything we didn't like or had some kind of problem with, we just discussed it a little bit and made some addendums. And then we just sat there, drank beer, had fun. And then I go to a birthday party afterwards, more alcohol. So I was a little bit tired on Sunday morning at 8:40 a.m. when I wake up. I was like, oh, the bus leaves in 15 minutes. Oh, I'm going to be late. No, I'm not, because I managed to run down to the bus stop and barely managed to get on the bus in time. So I made it down to the tournament in time, unlike some people. So, yeah. I wasn't the tardiest person there, but I was there just in time.
Nice, man. Kind of going back to your one of your original points, I really think that a team tournament is way better. Like, now that we're in 7th edition and things are kind of, you get multiple detachments anyways, I think it's a lot easier to just do a team tournament and just say every player gets a detachment up to whatever points. So we have like 750 points each.
Yeah, we were playing 800 points each, and we were playing 1 allied detachment each, because when you combine 2 allied detachments, you basically have 1 combined arms detachment.
Right, yeah. So I think it's just easier just to be like whatever detachment you want, and then what each player plays by the rules of their detachment, unless it's like got something to do with the warlord, because you can only have like 1 warlord, right? So yeah, that's the one difference I would say. If your detachment ability gives you like special warlord stuff, then it would only be for the person who's playing the warlord.
Yeah. And of course, playing Space Marines versus Chaos Space Marines, we had Come the Apocalypse as our allies matrix. Ooh. Couldn't deploy within 12, and whenever we were within 6 inches of each other, we had to roll and make sure we didn't get a 1, or else we were just standing there. So we did that. We had a couple of 1s, but nothing that really screwed us over. So we were lucky. But the other two teams that we had from the club, they managed to score first and third place, so we're happy. I think we had about half the teams at the tournament, so we were sort of overrepresented, but we had a blast.
Nice. That's good. I'm really glad. Our tournament went pretty well too. People seem to have a really good time. I did post a bunch of, blog posts about it, so I won't go into it too much, but we had a really nice time at our tournament. People had a great time. There was there was really good sportsmanship from top to the bottom. I had a couple issues with the spreadsheet. I really want to do like some Torrent of Fire or some other application at some point instead. For the next tournament, which actually is a team tournament, and I can't wait to do that because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually going to do round robin pairing. I think, like, have it be a legitimate like 40K speed date, and get people every game playing with a different person and against two different people. I think that would be fun.
And then individual score after that to show who was the one person who managed to adapt the best.
Yep. Yeah, I think that'll be what we do. There'll be like lots of prizes though, so because it's more for fun, and there'll only be 3 games instead of 4. It'll be more for a fun thing. Everybody will have one detachment, any detachment that they want, and they can all the allies will be allies of convenience, so it's fair. So you don't have some people with battle brothers and some people with allies of convenience and some people with come the apocalypse. They'll just all be allies of convenience just to make things easier, and it'll all be fun. I can't wait.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like something completely crazy.
Yes, I think that's really the idea. The idea is to just do crazy, have a crazy fun time, and have people meet each other and get to know each other.
Yep. So, last point on my list of things I've done lately is I've been working on a video from DCS, that's Digital Combat Simulator. That's the flight sim I've been playing with a lot lately. And I'm getting close to having a video completed of, well, how it is to fly an A-10C in this simulator, which is quite amazing. So I'll post it to our Facebook page once it's done, and that will be the only time I'm posting something non-40K related, well, something's flight sim related to that page, just because, well, I think it's good to show that we do other things than just podcast and play 40K.
That sounds like a good time.
Yep. And it's fun actually to edit that video because I'm learning a lot about this video editing software that I'm using. It's called Lightworks. It's kind of strange because it's really simple to use, but it has some seriously advanced features too. So some things are really intuitive and some things are like, what? But in the end, it looks great.
Right, yeah, I have a Mac, so I use iMovie, which is okay, but it has these weird distinctions between, like, this is a project and this is a event. You have to import your events into your projects, and there are multiple movies and events, and it's like, oh my god, I just want to edit a gosh darn video.
Yeah, in the case of Lightworks, one of the reasons why I'm using it is because I have this save game in that Digital Combat Simulator, and I can play it back and have it record to a video file, and I can use different angles, so I can film the entire flight from just like a fixed point on the right wing, say, and I can have it at like from inside the cockpit, and it reproduces where I'm looking in the cockpit at all times and which buttons I'm pushing and everything. Everything's recorded, and then I can put different angles into a box and say, these are synchronized together, so I can switch between the different angles really easy. And everything's like frame perfect synchronization.
That's great. That's nice. That sounds real good.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I pretty much have to use this software, because it's the only one that I know that can do this really easy, at least. But hey, it's a fun learning experience.
Cool. that sounds like fun. That sounds really awesome. So, shoot, I just had something in my brain that I forgot about. Oh well, you know what? I've done enough.
Yeah. I think there's a joke in here about me editing a podcast, but being such a masochist that I actually decided to do other types of editing on top, which are like more mind-numbing editing.
That's what I was thinking of. That's why it reminded me that I did another interview. For Adepticon Talks.
War Machines, wasn't it?
Yeah, the folks at Privateer Press. I did. It's off to. I sent it to them to listen to in case so they can ask me to remove stuff if they want to. But yeah, I did another interview for Adepticon Talks. It'll probably be up real soon. Actually, by the time this is released, it'll already have been released because we'll be at Adepticon already.
Yeah. Did you finish the interview by sitting in the shower crying?
No. I edited that. Editing that one was a lot easier than editing the first one. I just don't there's some things I don't get, like how can I cut and paste multiple tracks at once and stuff. Like I can cut them, but when I paste them, it only pastes it into one track instead of multiple tracks. So I'm not sure how to do that yet. I'm gonna pick your brain on a few things later on.
Well, are you using Audacity on the Mac or on a PC?
Mac.
Well, maybe that's the problem, because I use it on the Windows and it works just fine. I get every single track.
Okay. Maybe I need to select all the tracks when I paste?
Yes, you do.
Oh, well, that's it then. I assumed it would just put it in, but I guess I have to select all three tracks so it'll paste into all three tracks?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. So, hey, problem solved.
Yes. Learning experience.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Snorri. I am planning all kinds of trips, dude. And I don't know if I can afford it. My wife.
I would say, okay, sorry. I would say that meet me halfway, but halfway is unfortunately in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere. So let's agree either meet in New York or meet in the UK, because that's reasonable. For one of us at least.
Carl's starting to convince me that I need to go to Salute, and I think I want to. I could maybe. I don't know.
Salute is probably amazing, but why not some kind of Black Library or Horus Heresy Weekender event or something?
Everybody's gonna be there. Everybody's gonna be there for Salute. I think that would be so much fun to go over and do it. I just need to find the. Fortunately, it's in April, and that's when my time rolls over at work when I get my vacation time. But the question is, I gotta save for it. I gotta save money for it. So we'll see how that goes. And it'll be right. My wife and I are planning a cruise in October for our 10-year wedding anniversary. So I'd certainly, if it's in early April, like if they change it and it's in early April, I won't be able to do it because I won't have any time left. Wendy just sent me she just sent me a link 10 minutes ago. 14-day Norwegian cruise to the Caribbean. Oh, I better save my time then.
Yeah.
Boy.
April is too soon for me.
Not this April, next April.
Oh, next April.
Yeah,
well,
2016.
Yeah, okay, that might actually work, because I've talked to Jason Mullins, and we're sort of planning maybe another meetup in London. So this year I might be visiting London again.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. It will probably be in May or June.
That's cool. That'll be fun, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm super jelly. I found a few flights that they have weird layovers. I found a flight to Heathrow that has a layover in Dublin. I'm like, oh, that's kind of annoying. I'm like, well, what if I just fly into Dublin and take the train? That might be fun. See the English countryside.
You do realize that Dublin is in a different It's like landmass entirely. Well, it's Ireland.
There's a ferry that goes across.
Yeah, and he uses 12 hours to cross that little piece of water.
Be fun. It's called being a tourist, Snorri. But here's the funny thing.
It's called wasting half your vacation on sitting on a bloody boat doing nothing.
Well, here's the funny thing. When I looked it up, turns out the flight directly to Dublin, there's another flight that's super cheap that goes directly to Dublin, but there's a layover in London for cheaper. I'm like,
So it's actually cheaper to just fly straight to London.
No, it's cheaper to fly to Dublin but get off in London. But I wouldn't be able to check I wouldn't be able to check a bag though, because my bag would go to Dublin. I would only be able to take a carry-on and just buy all because my carry-on would be my models, and I would just buy clothes in London or something. Anyways,
strange stuff.
Yeah, the airlines are weird. So we're not gonna take a break in this episode. We're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep talking because it's gonna be short. What else were we gonna freaking talk about, Snorri?
I
wanted to do a shout out. Yeah,
we actually had a few people who posted some fluff that they've written to our Facebook page. Well, technically, they posted it as messages to our Facebook page.
Ian Ratchko has some orc fluff he wanted to share with us.
Yeah, and recently he started building an army of orcs. He just bought his first box of orc boys, and he's been assembling them, and, here he is having ideas for his army. Great, sharing it with us, even better. Yes. Now we can copy his stuff and say it's ours. Well, pretend to. His orc army is centered around Freebooter Captain Blacktooth, which was the closest thing he could find to Blackbeard. And, well, I came up with a couple of other alternatives, but Adam, Adam, he was like, no, you can't say that on the air. So I'm going to be quiet. This Captain Blacktooth is actually something of a known freebooter, pillaging the galaxy, crumping everything he comes across, like a good orc.
For him, yes.
Exactly, and counts as Captain Badrock. Recently, the captain has responded to the call of the Octarius Empire to help kill the Tyranids that are amassing there. Obviously, he's getting paid well to fight, and it's a bloody good wog.
Yeah! Yeah, what I really love about this is that he says he has a whole bunch of Tyranid models laying around that he's had for a long time, and he's just started hacking the heads off and sticking them on boss poles and putting nids on the bases and everything like that. He's basically, if you have a Tyranid problem, Blacktooth is the guy to call on when you need help. And he's even renamed his kill cruiser the Exterminator. Because, duh.
I actually think that name is a little bit too imperial. It needs to be orky. Sorry, it needs to be orkier.
Orkier? Yeah, maybe we could help. Maybe the listeners can help him out with that. Anybody who lives in the southern United States knows can look at their yellow pages, all the exterminators, see if they can find a really good find a good name.
Yeah.
He also has a Big Mac for a chief engineer, a Mad Doc, and everything like that. So he's filling out the crew of this ship, and that's gonna be his collection.
Yeah, and he basically describes that the entire crew will probably never be fully deployed unless it's an APOC game, but it will give him a start. And that's a really good place to start, actually, because if you buy 6 feet of Space Marines, then by the time you've done 4 or 5 boxes, you're probably going to think, oh my god, do I have to do all this? And then you stop playing. That's kind of how I get burned out every now and then.
Did you see what he said about his display board? He's gonna do a launch bay of the kill cruiser, and he's gonna have nid heads mounted on the wall and stuff. That is awesome. That is so cool.
Just like in Predator, the movie.
Nice.
Trophy racks for everybody.
Ian was just sharing his fluff with us. He didn't ask us for any advice or anything like that, but everybody else, feel free to send in your fluff, and maybe we'll talk about it on the show or read it on the show, and give everybody else some inspiration for their own armies. And if you do have questions or want help, feel free to pose us some questions. We have a few more waiting in the wings here that have been sitting in our inbox, and we'll get to them, as we move forward.
Yeah, and Adam, you have to be careful. This guy actually invited you to come visit him in Eastern Canada, not too far from you, apparently. And he wants you to actually attend or maybe even host a narrative event in this area. You might have started a big something here. You might actually have started a... what do you call it? Something like a movement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it should be, you know what, everybody should be connected, we should all be connected and having fun. And because it's interesting, I've started some networking with some guys in Buffalo, some guys in Western Massachusetts, and we've had folks, like at the tournament, we had folks come from Connecticut and from downstate New York. Like, we're really starting to get integrated here in the Northeast, which is good, because before we were very, very fragmented. And I'm hoping that our store can kind of be a hub for that kind of camaraderie and communication. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it really is something to do with the niche nature of this hobby. I think that because we're a small hobby, we're so passionate about this niche hobby of ours that we just open up and talk to people who do this, and we just feel some kind of connection to them instantly, even though we might not be interested in playing games, but just talking about the hobby brings us closer to each other so much easier than just meeting some random stranger on the street who's like, "Hi, I'm Jay."
Yeah, you automatically start with kind of with an understanding, right? So that's cool. That's
often I guess we start out just like walking into a Games Workshop store. It's like, "Ooh, what army are you doing?" But it doesn't feel like they were trying to push stuff on us.
Right, yeah. So another thing we wanted to do with this episode is kind of delve back into Rogue Traders a little bit. Like I said, I feel like that one of the main things that we missed a little bit with the Rogue Trader episode was actually talking about the Rogue Traders themselves. All we really did, like, we talked about like, as far as like putting them on the tabletop, we really didn't say anything about how to represent. If you wanted to actually have your Rogue Traders show up on the battlefield, we really didn't talk about that. We talked about their troops, we talked about their armies, we talked about in space, like how to represent them in a fleet battle situation, but we never actually talked about Rogue Traders as your warlord.
We never really talked about modeling them. We didn't really talk about their kind of character on the battlefield in, for example, a 40K game.
Right. So I was thinking we could split the discussion up kind of the way we did in our episode, basically by like kind of where they come from, right? What do you think? Is that cool?
Yeah, I think that's. I wouldn't really know where else to start.
Right. So what about a Rogue Trader that comes from the Imperial Navy? I think that's the most common one. I think that's the one most people will kind of think of. Oh, Rogue Trader, yes, must have been, originally from the Imperial Navy. And I was kind of thinking even like the officer of the fleet, which he isn't really a main character in the Astra Militarum Codex, but he might be cool as like the representation of your ex-Imperial Navy Rogue Trader.
You would definitely find them around a Rogue Trader fleet. Even if they're not the Rogue Trader, they would definitely be in the employ of a Rogue Trader. You might paint yourself into a corner when you're an officer of the fleet. There might not be too many places where you can advance, or you could do something stupid, or you can make some kind of tactical error that just means that you will never be advanced to anything else, or you might lose your position or something, and, well, might as well sell yourself out, or maybe you're lucky enough to become a rogue trader yourself. And these guys would definitely have so much knowledge of fleet operations, like coordinating large number of ships for attacks or just like convoys, any kind of maneuver in space, and they would know about space really well. It's like warp dangers and, safe routes, what to look for, all that stuff. And that would be immensely valuable for a rogue trader.
Right. And if you're playing in a campaign or something and you have kind of like-minded individuals playing in the campaign, maybe you can get them to agree to let you pay a few extra points to add a few wounds to that officer of the fleet as you advance, or even other abilities to kind of represent just how important he is to the army. I was also thinking maybe the Lord Commissar as an ex-Imperial Navy. Like, hear me out here. I'm kind of thinking of like the brutal like discipline on a ship. I'm kind of thinking more like naval officers from like the British 1600s or whatever, and or the 1600s to the 1800s. Would that make sense? Because like it's all about the discipline and the morale.
You're basically thinking about that that Russell Crowe movie.
I've never seen Russell Crowe movie about
Master and Commander. There we go. You're basically thinking about like Master and Commander, that kind of officer, like the good old days, quote unquote. And might actually work really well.
Yeah.
The Commissar is definitely high ranking enough, and also he would be zealous enough. He would definitely be someone the Imperium wants on their side, but he might also be someone at the point where they become too powerful or too influential, or anything like this. I
was actually thinking more like counts as for the tabletop, so like just using the Commissar rules to represent this guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was actually thinking of Lord Commissar's ass.
An actual Commissar. Actually, you know what? I could see that too, actually.
Well, a Lord Commissar, I'm pretty sure, is super awesome as a person, so they would probably be quite likely to end up in a situation where the Imperium actually might find them problematic. And, he's survived so many fights. Hint, hint, certain commissar person. And he just doesn't seem to die, so we need to do something about it to make him sort of go away.
Yeah, so I one of the other paradigms was Astra Militarum, which I guess we just kind of talked about with the Lord Commissar, but like just like a company, like a regular commander in a company, I think that's kind of a slam dunk fit. A regular Astra Militarum company commander or a named character would do fine for to represent your rogue leader. I think that's kind of the default standard, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that would be sort of high ranking enough to sort of fit, but if you're just looking for someone of high rank with rules to put down and say, it was like, okay, so this guy is technically a rogue trader, but rules wise he is A or B, then yeah, you couldn't really put a sergeant and say, yeah, this guy is, because that would definitely be too low. Yeah. But yeah, a company commander would work. Yeah,
I think there's still something about the company commanders though. They don't seem to have the you can't really trick them out very well. They don't have a lot of options, do they? That's the only thing I'm really concerned about with the company commander in general, about making them the de facto rogue trader. I really prefer kind of using the Inquisition book and using a non-psyker inquisitor. What do you think about using a non-psyker inquisitor as a rogue trader counts as?
That would definitely work because they related to fluff. They definitely fit, and I think the rules would also be just fine because I don't think you would find many psychers as rogue traders.
No.
That would just be strange.
Right. Yeah. So
Could be, of course, but I don't think so.
With their mixture of like really cool war gear and their ability to be an independent character, and the fact that you can just take the Codex Inquisition and just pull just one Inquisitor out and use him or her, obviously, as just and throw that character into a unit. I think that just really lends itself to using that book to make your rogue trader character.
Yes, they're very definitely agree there.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, certainly like a merchant type, or like we're saying the Adeptus or the Astra Militarum type, and obviously any rogue trader that hails from the Inquisition, you definitely use an Inquisitor for that.
Yeah. It would be kind of stupid to say, oh, this rogue trader is an inquisitorial rogue or ex-inquisitorial rogue trader, and here's my company commander who represents him. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like for the merchants and stuff and for the ex-inquisitors, you could definitely start using some of the weird like ex-Xenos war gear, right, from the Codex Inquisition. That stuff is really fun. I was also thinking Canoness, right?
Yeah, definitely if you want to have a female rogue trader. Yep. Speaking of female rogue traders, you do actually have a couple of Inquisitors that also fit that one really well.
Yeah, for sure. And they have the power armor, but they have the human stats, and they have a lot. Yes. They have a lot of options too. Things like the Condemner bolt gun. You can put melta bombs on them. They have a bunch of relics that are very interesting. A lot of them that are like leadership based, which could be really nice for ex-Imperial commanders who kind of have this loyal retinue following them that kind of think about where they hail from, and they have this unshakable nerve. So I think the Canoness and the Inquisitor, in my opinion, make for really the best rogue traders, just because of their war gear choices and their rules. And that might, that's just my personal opinion, though.
Yeah, it really works.
Cool. So I'm really glad we talked about that, because I feel like we really missed it in the last episode, and I'm glad we could talk about it. And if anybody else has any thoughts on representing your rogue traders on the tabletop, please let us know.
Yeah, we'll steal your ideas for for Rogue Trader counts as.
I had a conversation with someone on the internet. I think it was on the Overlords Facebook page, actually. They were like, well, there was a guy trying to figure out how to represent their command squad with jump packs, and you can't do a command squad with jump packs, really. You can only get bikes with them, and I'm like, well, you could do a Vanguard vets, and they're like, no. And one dude says, well, they kind of want the Narthecium. They want to have the Apothecary in there. Like, oh, roll run Blood Angels, and they're like, well, that's kind of heretical equipment. Command squad wouldn't have that in Space Marines. I'm like, but you just said just pretend. pretend it's not Blood Angels.
Yeah, and let's see, what was pretty much like the opening line of the game Space Marine? The Codex Astartes is a book that is good for like starting ideas, but you should never follow it word by word because it's only a guide. Right. So yeah, just because the rulebook doesn't really allow it doesn't mean that you cannot at all, or you cannot do that at all in a friendly game where both parties agree to it. Because, well, Unless there's like really game breaking, usually people don't have too much of a problem with it.
Yeah, who's to say in your chapter?
If you have a good reason for it, most people is like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, like who's to say in your chapter the command squads don't have apothecaries? It's just your apothecary may have one extra wound. That's all.
Yeah. Now we're starting to come into the section called Adam Games Rules for Fun.
You know what, dude? I think we might be getting into dangerous waters here. Maybe we need to close out the show.
Yeah, we're supposed to be about fluff and fun gaming, not so much abusing rules to have fun at other people's expense.
I'm just saying, the person wanted a command squad with jump packs and feel no pain, so I just gave them that option. That's what I said.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
Make it. Why not just go full blood on Blood Angels?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Blood Angels are awesome. I like them.
No, they're not. I don't like them.
Well, at least they're not Dark Angels. Jeez.
Oh, speaking of Dark Angels, I should have covered this in the intro, but I actually have started reading Horus Heresy again.
Yeah.
So, I had to skip a couple of books. Let's see, the last one I read was Legion, and I'm missing a couple of books, so I decided to dig into Angel Exterminatus, the sequel to Descent of Angels, which still doesn't completely close off that storyline, because we need at least one or maybe two more books to just finish up that whole Dark Angel thing. I haven't finished the book yet, I just listened to After Olenor, and they covered that in the Descent of Angels episodes. That, well, the story is in Descent of Angels, and then everything kind of gets flipped over in Angel Exterminatus, and they still haven't told the entire story yet. And we still don't have the book yet. So I was like, no, please, release the book. So I guess I know what question to ask next time I go to a Black Library Weekender. Like, so we don't really need to know who the last two legions are, but when's the next Horus Heresy Dark Angels book coming out? I want to know the last piece.
Maybe that's something we could ask at Adepticon. I still don't know what authors are going to be there, if any.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see if we can track someone down.
Yeah, definitely.
I can have you sit on them and I can poke them on the chest until they reveal their secrets.
Are you saying I'm fat and we'll weigh them down and you're skinny and your fingers are probably like daggers?
No, I was actually thinking you're heavier than me, period. It was like, you're more effective sitting on someone than I am.
Okay.
So, no, it was not intended as a fat joke, even though it came out as one.
It's fine.
Sorry.
It can be a fat joke. It's fine. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right.
I guess that's another segue. Congratulations. I've seen the before and after pictures.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, so much better.
Yeah, both you and Jim have done amazing there.
Jim's done really, really well. He's a crazy.
Oh, can't wait to meet Jim. Yeah, Jim, fun. I say hello.
Actually, you probably have already said hello by the time this podcast releases.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's actually true. Stop making temporal jokes.
So you're going in Tuesday. I'll be in Wednesday, right?
Yes, and apparently I think we're going to meet up for beers on Wednesday. A lot of not just the Geek Nation Tours people, but all kinds of people meeting up on Facebook.
All right.
For once, I actually find Facebook to be really good for this.
Yeah.
Because there's one group that is all about Adepticon 2015, and everyone there is like, come on, there's 7 days left. Woo! Yep. What are you doing? Have you finished your travel plans? Are you working on some models? Is everything okay? Like, hey, that reminds me, I actually need to check my flight. The things are like, yeah, okay, so that's done. Great. Thanks to this group, I've remembered. So, by the time you hear this, I will be in Chicago. Unless, well, the plane falls down in the Atlantic or something. But, knock on wood, let's pretend that never happened.
Oh my goodness.
Stop banging your head against the monitor.
Oh boy. You know what? I think we're done. Oh no. I intentionally forgot one thing.
Intentionally?
I haven't touched the Titans not once. I've been so busy with the tournament and preparing the Dark Heresy adventure that I haven't touched them. I don't think I'm going to be able to bring them with me and hand them off to the owner, and it kind of makes me sad.
So is the calculation now looking like you could have worked at McDonald's to make enough money to pay a lawyer to do the job for you?
I know, right? It's so true. And I'm looking over at him like, why is that gun bent? And I'm like, oh no, is there something broken? And I'm like, oh, I just want this to be over. I want it. It's almost a year and a half. I got them in October of year before last.
I guess that means April is the month then.
God. Yeah,
I need to get a party hat and some beers and take a funny pictures like happy 1.5 year anniversary, Adam.
Yeah, April. I think April is 1.5 years, and they're not done. Like they're almost done. They're so almost done. I would be like, if they were mine, I'd be like, these are done.
Speaking of April and party hats and beer, I think that's pretty close to our first year anniversary.
That's so true. April. It was after Adepticon that we released our first episode. So because we added the interview with David Annandale, our only interview so far.
Yeah. Well, we've reached out to one other author, I think, and we haven't heard anything back yet. So it's not like we've been hounding all the authors and they've all just given us the cold shoulder. We haven't exactly done a really bang up job of trying to hunt them down.
Right. So look forward to a retrospective episode at that point, sometime in April or May. Probably May, probably be easier. Yeah. Look at us for a year. That's pretty awesome.
I actually never would have thought we would last this long.
But here we are. Confidence.
Well, you're American. It's in your blood.
Confidence in sunshine. I have confidence in rain. I have confidence that spring will come again. And most of all, you see, I have confidence in me.
Is this Sesame Street or something?
No, it's Sound of Music. You really don't want me to do karaoke on Wednesday because it's going to be a show. I haven't decided whether I'm going to open with Sweet Transvestite or not, because that's kind of like my jam. It's usually my jam at the karaoke night.
As long as you don't look like what's his
Frank
name from
Furter?
Yes, thank you. As long as you don't show up looking like him, I'm happy.
I might buy a wig just for fun. So, our Facebook page.
Facebook.com/Masters of the Forge. Twitter,
Masters of Forge. I didn't even put up the last episode. I need to get back on that.
You slacker.
I am a slacker.
Yes, we have a blog too.
And
that is that's mastersoftheforge.com.
Yeah, mastersoftheforge.com.
Do we have anything else? Oh yes, iTunes reviews.
Please.
I remembered.
Yes, nice job. Yeah, we need iTunes reviews because it makes us look awesome in the face of iTunes, which is really important.
Yeah, well, it's one of the places where people are likely to find us without knowing about us.
That's right. And that's kind of the bit. That's kind of the thing. Keeping it going, broadening the base. Super important. And that's it. I guess we're going to go to Adepticon, have a lot of fun, and talk about it. But until then,
play the game the way you. Oh wait, I have something to say.
God damn it.
Well, I was just going to finish by saying, sorry, this wasn't really a crunchy or fluffy episode, but it was still a better show than last time.
It was better than last time. Life is always sweeter
when you play the game the way you want to.
Yes! Boom!
This might actually become really bad.